Well, welcome to the Broker Collective podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Malone, president at HRO and the Broker Collective. And today, pretty fortunate to have one of our partners, actually been partnered with the Insurance Loft team for a few years now, share some clients together, I think both ways. Pretty excited to have Scott, founder, managing partner on with us today, Scott Ligouri. So just wanted to let Scott kind of maybe go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, Scott, and maybe just kind of give us just a high level overview of, what your agency looks like, and we can kind of kick it off from there.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus, for having me. So my firm started in 2007 in Iowa, and we mostly started as just kind of an online platform focusing on personal lines at that point. And we just started with just a few carriers and really made it a point to be kind of a national agency platform. So we did a lot of years of, R&D and getting that platform set up and getting licenses and those appointments. And, anyone who started scratch knows that takes a lot of time to get off the ground. So, looking back, it would probably have been better just to maybe acquire a small agency just to get the ball rolling. But a lot of sweat and tears those first few years, and then
That's tough. That's a tough task.
And then we worked there for about 5 years, and it was a good spot to start out with, just because you had major hubs with Nationwide and Progressive and stuff, so we were able to identify some good partners to start with. And then we kind of grew it out from there. We ended up moving our firm to Colorado. I grew up in Colorado, and that's just kind of a better lifestyle play for me. We still have tons of clients in Iowa and the Midwest, but we kind of grew it from there, started acquiring, really did our digital footprint, really focused on that starting out. And then today, we have 4 brick and mortars, 1 in OKC, 1 in Iowa, and then 2 in Colorado. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. And we currently have 28 employees, and so we're just, servicing about 38 states, and we're about 50-50 as far as our personal lines, commercial lines makeup today. And that's kind of how we're moving forward. And digital is still very important to us, but the old-fashioned model of the good referral partners is becoming more prevalent, and I think we'll probably get into that later in this.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, really, some of the things, and just for context for everybody, I mean, kind of the intent for the conversation today, I think you guys have such a unique perspective, kind of starting from scratch, having a little bit of a digital focus, being more of a national presence, and then just really wanted to talk about all things navigating a hard market, because I mean it's a pretty wild time I think we've been in the last couple of years, and so just kind of talking about a little bit of everything that goes into navigating that situation and finding a way to continue to grow and be successful. But you guys, when we first got connected a couple of years back, I think a few of the things that really got my attention and piqued our interest in partnering with you guys was that you aligned with our thought process and mindset in so many ways, and the mindset of kind of being more digitally focused, which is it's becoming kind of more of a thing now. But historically, I think the insurance industry is a little bit behind in the technology space, and so it sounds like you guys, and it looks like, obviously, I mean it's been a huge success, but it's helped you guys really, I think, differentiate and stand out. And the expansion that you guys have had is really incredible. I'm kind of curious. I think you mentioned before the call too, I know you had started, in the industry back in 2007, which is, that's when I started kind of in the PEO business and HR outsourcing space. But a lot of changes since then, right? We've seen a lot of different economies at play. Just kind of really curious. You mentioned you guys have a 50-50 focus on commercial and P&C and personal lines. And so, I'm really curious to hear, with all of the, challenges that have went on, both of those spaces, but on the personal line space, I mean, how has your focus shifted in terms of where you're putting your attention versus, commercial or personal lines since the hard market and, the what we've kind of been experiencing the last 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, anyone in the business knows, property is an incredible challenge right now. And so, our focus is really going on to the casualty side of stuff. So we're really hammering the commercial side on, liability and, you know, directors and officers type stuff, kind of management, liability type policy forms, cyber stuff. Carriers are open for business on those types of lines right now. The problem is people are shopping their property products because, rates are going through the roof. They're getting non-renewals. Carriers are leaving the states and stuff like that we're in with California, Florida,
Yeah,
Southern Texas is a real major issue that and so our focus in our, marketing efforts have been more of the casualty side of commercial space, just because we do have markets, in those. But, um, that's kind of our shift right now. And so, with, any decent commercial firm, partnerships are key. And so we're kind of going a little bit more old school and developing more of those, relationships so that we can get those decent
yeah.
sized commercial clients in right now. So, we're still managing and maintaining a personal lines book, but right now, our focus is definitely kind of more focused towards commercial lines.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what we hear too. I mean, this well, we've got about 75 agency partners, and so I'd say probably half of those are kind of like you guys, maybe not 50-50, but they have some personal lines business, and they got hit with all the same stuff, right? Carriers cutting back commissions or just pulling out of markets. And so, you've seen a lot more shift and focus towards, commercial and how to make that successful. You mentioned partnerships. I mean, that's our lifeblood here. I mean, and it kind of stem from something similar, right? I mean, the hard market right now is kind of, dictating, decisions in the insurance space to some degree. And for us, it was the pandemic, in 2020, where we decided to really shift gears and start focusing on, okay, how do we go out and, start building a sophisticated approach to generating partnerships, and that's helped us, succeed tremendously. I guess tell me a little bit about, I mean, how have you guys approached partnership development? Is your partnerships, are they mainly focused on the commercial side?
No, I mean, they're both sides. And so, our how we're deriving our partnerships commercially, if that's kind of what you're looking for,
Yeah.
is, we're dealing with attorneys, accountants, there's, fractional controllers and, CFOs right now as well that are very popular in the space. So we're partnering with those types of folks so that they can give some value add to their clients as well. Capital partnerships that are, lending money and stuff like that to,
Yeah.
small to mid-sized commercial. That's kind of where our focus is. That's where we feel like we can derive the most benefit for our clients. We kind of stay out of the larger brokers, publicly traded brokers. We don't want to play in their pool so much. So we're kind of staying into the, $2 to $50,000 revenue accounts is kind of our sweet spot as a company, and we feel like we have a very good offering for those types of clients.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are the folks we're hitting hard. We're getting back into chamber work and stuff like that. So we're a part of that and hitting those hard, and just kind of calling, it's old school marketing, getting back into it.
It's funny, man. I mean, it's because I think a lot of us, all of us were doing some of those things at one point, and then I don't know about you guys. I mean, I know you got brick and mortars, but are you guys all like some hybrid work or
Oh
some?
yeah, yeah. I mean, we got folks in all over the country working remotely for us, and then a lot of our staff have chosen to do a hybrid model. So we've got 2 days at home, 3 days in the office in the areas that we do have brick and mortar.
Yeah,
So
I mean, there's pros and cons to all of it, right? I mean, we started. I mean, we went fully remote. Say fully remote. We got a couple employees who work. We had a couple small offices. Now we downsized the size of those just because we were, mostly remote. But I mean, it definitely, for us, I mean, it changes the way you approach relationships. I mean, it changes the way you interact with your prospects, right? When everything is now done mostly virtual. I mean, one of the cool things about the partnership strategy for us is that, although I mean, and I'll say this, I mean, partnerships took us from being in roughly like 4 states to 42, 44 states in, a 3-year period. And so just having partners all over the nation has been a blessing, but also like a lot of those partners, I mean, again, like you guys, we're not targeting these huge, companies to create partnerships with. Like, we don't really want to play in that space.
Mhm.
More so is like we were looking for folks who are more like us, right? I mean, like mid-size, smaller companies, and a lot of those, they're still operating in many cases very regionally, right? I mean, so
Mhm.
they have a regional
Mhm.
presence in their city or their state. And so, because of that, they're still doing a lot of in-person work. They're still out face to face having meetings, where
Mhm.
we're mostly doing virtual stuff. I mean, we have some local opportunities that we go out and visit in person and travel on occasion. But what's been cool about it is, you're leveraging those relationships that your partners created, right? They've been in person, they've been on the streets, they're creating this rapport and relationship. And then so then when they bring us in, there's such a level of trust that's already there. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
that if we had just encountered that same prospect cold off the street virtually through a call like this, it would have taken probably so much more to maybe break down some walls and build that trust and maybe win that business. So
Well, it becomes, yeah, I mean, when you're on the digital side of things, and we did that for a very long time, and we had a lot of success, but yeah, the conversion rates just aren't what where it's at. And so you're playing a price game when you're
exactly.
digitally. And so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, when you have a good personal referral, I mean, everybody knows the closing ratio is going to be significantly higher. So yeah.
Insane. I think our rate in 22, we closed at a 70% close rate, which was insane. I mean, our industry average is around 25%. And it was just testimony to the power in those relationships our partners have,
Yeah.
and the work that they did on the front end before even bringing us to the table. So yeah, I'm a big believer in that. And we talk a lot about referrals on here, but I'm happy to hear your experience with that. Kind of curious to shift a little bit and think about, retention, because I know a lot of, and especially our smaller agencies. I mean, this is something that they've really struggled with, right? They're getting, on the commercial side in particular, obviously we're seeing crazy renewals coming in, and this, how do you react in those moments? How do you handle those situations? So, I mean, has your approach, I guess, the approach to client retention and nurturing client relationships, have you guys made any changes in that, just with what's going on in the market?
Yeah, I mean, market access is more important than ever right now, and your carrier spread is absolutely paramount because, especially if you work in hospitality or something like that, you have a few key markets that really are engaged in that. So, if one of those markets, come unglued and they're not profitable in it, and they just start cutting an entire industry out of their repertoire, it becomes very challenging. So, I mean, getting carrier access is actually absolutely paramount, and we've done a lot of work, and it's been kind of difficult because contracts are hard to come by these days. But just getting a good stable of good quality carriers, or E&S brokers that can move quickly on new business quotes and stuff like that. But you have to be proactive these days, or you're going to lose the business. So not only are you reaching out a little bit earlier with your clients on renewals, but you're also providing them, cost cutting measures, higher deductibles, or refocusing on, looking at the revenues and the work comp and all that good stuff. So,
Right.
um, you have to really do a lot more work, and, it takes a lot more time, and it's not as easy as it used to be in this industry. So there's just a lot
Yeah.
more, and you want to give them more digital tools. I mean, we have, apps on the Google Store and the Apple Store, and there's a lot of self-service products in the marketplace. So we've introduced those, and that's been very helpful as far as servicing, getting certs out quickly to the clients and stuff like that. So there's some of that stuff that we're adding to give a little bit more value to our clients.
I think that's a huge piece of it, man. I mean, even, not just insurance, but thinking about our own business, man. I mean, I think the philosophy that we have and our mindset for, a handful of years now has just been, you see that need and just the way that I mean, look at social media, right? And just technology in general and how we're groomed to just expect things. We want it easy, we want it fast, we want it now. Right. And so how can we take those same concepts and apply them to our business? Because, we're dealing with humans, right? And this is, we're all, I think groomed to kind of act this way or want things in this manner to some degree, right? We want things to be easy and convenient. We're all busy. And so I think where, there's such a huge opportunity right now in the insurance space, to separate as you guys are, with technology, right? What can you do to make yourselves easier to do business with? What can you do to make it easier for your client to work with you and interact with you, and simplify the process for them? And, for us, that's made a huge difference. I mean, I think just about every situation we come into with a competitor, and with our partners, right? Where so there's been so many agencies we partner with who were referring to companies like ours in the past, and now they're exclusive with us because we make it easy for them. We make it easy for the referral partner. We make it easy, for the prospect, for the client. And so, I think something, I'd be interested in hearing about, especially with you guys' size and the expansion that you've had. I mean, maybe some examples you're willing to share about maybe how you guys leverage technology in your agency. I mean, it could be for business development, retention, anything, but just some examples of leveraging technology to gain an advantage.
Yeah, so I mean, most systems today for CRMs, they do have renewal tracking as far as percentage increases, or they're tagging a non-renewal. It has been absolutely crucial for us to stay ahead of that. So if we're getting that, we have someone monitoring this every day. We get that in through a download. And if something's off as far as percentage of increase or a non-renewal, it is imperative we're communicating with the client right away saying, hey, we've been notified of this. We're going to look into it. We're going to be shopping it for you, and we're going to get you some results. Maybe it's best that you stay there because it's a 30% raise, but it's the best that we have in our marketplace right now. But what we're finding is some agencies are not communicating that in a timely fashion, and they're just going out and shopping you. And you're losing the business, and you don't even have a chance to retain it. So I would say that's been absolutely paramount in this hard market, is getting in front of that and having someone in the office looking at that daily, because it has been a huge impact on keeping our clients.
That's huge. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, anytime you're thinking about adding a new technology or something like that, it's an investment, right? And I think so many people get stuck in that. They're just so stuck in the mindset, and they're so worried about the cost, right? Like, if they make this investment, what's it going to cost me? What's it going to cost me? And they're maybe not doing enough diligence to fully understand, like, what is this going to do for me? Like, what could this potentially deliver on a return, right? And so, we've invested heavily in technology here at HRO, and I mean, it's done incredible things for us, right? I mean, exactly what you just said. I mean, that's a powerful, I think, example where it allows you guys to not let things slip through the cracks. It allows you guys to stay very proactively on top of things and respond and react to your clients in a way that most agents really aren't really equipped to do.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
that's a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any new technologies on the horizon you guys are looking at or thinking about?
Well, I mean, there's one that's a good one that I'll give you. There's a lot of self-quoting portals now for carriers, especially like in bond markets, or jewelry, or there's special event stuff that you can create your own little portal, and they can self-service it and bind right on your website. So I would highly recommend looking into those, and that's just a great way to save time for your staff by sending them to the portal, and they can just type in and self-service themselves on some of those low-hanging fruit, and it's very passive income. And so I would highly recommend leveraging some of that carrier technology and integrating that on your websites, because it's been very helpful, especially we do quite a bit of bonds, small bonds take quite a bit of time. And so, if you're able to just push them to the site, they're able to get it done. They're able to get their bond cert and move on. It's great for everybody.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's a good example. I'll tell you what, I'll share something real quick that we've done that I love recently, and really it's just about creating a unique experience for the client, of maybe an easier experience from a proposal perspective. We've taken our proposals to more of a digital format, I mean, information is powerful too, right? The more information or data that we have, and how our clients or prospects are interacting with the information we give them, is super useful as well. But something we've done recently is we started using a platform called Quiller. It's Qwlir. And it's amazing. Like, you can build all types of templates with it. It doesn't just have to be proposals, but we started doing these digital proposals. And so, for example, like I can use, I can, customize the proposal to add in, text, and, put a message in there to kind of maybe overview the proposal, or the reasons why they're looking at, us, and why they should make this change. We use another platform called Loom, where we do videos, and we'll share those sometimes with prospects or clients. And so we can, for example, do a quick little video recap, maybe quick 2-3 minute video message to our prospect that we can embed in that proposal. You can make kind of an interactive pricing in there, where they can just kind of click and check, and based on, like for our pricing model, it's a PEPM, it's a per employee per month charge. And so they can just make selections like, okay, at this size, I check this box, and then it shows me my price. And it's just kind of cool. It's a cool way to interact, in a very transparent way to deliver the pricing for us. But also it allows you to embed documents. It could be your insurance proposals, it could be Excel files, but it's just a very cool way to deliver the proposal. But also, you then have feedback. It's a link, and so you share that link with, say, your prospect, and then maybe they have a board or other team members they're going to share it with. Well, then they can go back to your video recap. It also will tell you can then look in there and see who's viewed your proposal, what areas of the proposal they're spending the most time looking at. And so, because sometimes, you send a proposal and you haven't heard anything back in a week or two, and you're like, I mean, what's going on? Who's looking at it? Are they paying attention to this? But this, you can go in and see, okay, like they're engaging with it. Okay, wow, 5 people on their team are now, viewing the proposal. It's just kind of helpful to have that insight to kind of let us know, to maybe reach back out a little bit more persistently, or maybe give them some space, or it just kind of gives you some insight to help you navigate that closing process a little bit better. So just an example of something we've done that I really like a lot. It's been very successful for us so far. But yeah, I mean, big believer in digitization to some degree, right? To make things as simple and efficient
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah. I mean, one comment we had is, over the years, we kind of maybe overdid it on technology, and with
Yeah.
staff especially, there becomes this tech exhaustion. You have so many different vendors in your tech stack, and half of them they weren't even using. So I mean, when you're building out your tech stack and you're really looking and auditing your technology, I mean, you really have to have core technology your staff's using every single day. They know how to use it, and they're championing it with each other, because tech's expensive, and you just want to make sure that you're utilizing technology. It's, everybody's been on a tech call. It's going to change the business. It's going to bring you all this revenue. Well, if you're not using it correctly, or you're not putting it in your day to day, it's a waste of money. And so just be careful with continuing to buy technology and not understanding how it's working with, each other and other platforms. So
Yeah.
if there's good integration, make sure your staff's happy to use it, and make sure it's, easy to use in your day to day. That's my only comment, because we've overdone it and we've overspent over the years.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I mean, that's a great point. We were actually talking about that this week, because you can fall into that trap of like trying so many things at once, and it's like, okay,
Mhm.
let's just, we're looking at technologies, but let's focus on the one that we think is going to move the needle the most right now, like, or maybe the area we have the biggest need for improvement. But what's that biggest potential needle mover that we believe in, and let's just focus on doing this thing really, really well, and giving it the attention that it needs to be successful. Because I think from a servicing perspective too, with the clients, just obviously having the technologies and process in place to give them, an efficient, simplified process, but still delivering that, for us anyways, delivering that personal, like really hands-on experience.
Right,
It's like
yeah,
you've got the
exactly.
technology, but then you've got the team to really deliver and support that technology.
Hmm.
And it's that combination, I think, that really brings it to life.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, 100% on that.
Yeah, well, so I mean, one more thing I'm really interested to hear about, because you guys are a little larger. I know you mentioned you have 28 employees. A lot of our agency partners, in our audience are going to range from, I would say, probably 1, 2 producers to 50, or I
Mhm.
said 1, 2 producers to maybe 40, 50 employees, maybe 15, 20 producers. Um, Employee motivation and engagement. I mean, this is something that it's interesting for me, because this has been such a unique time and a challenging time in the insurance space. I mean, I've been in sales or tied to sales for 17 years, and it can be very, it takes some thick skin. It takes some real commitment, because times get difficult and they will test you. I mean, how have you guys kind of navigated that aspect of things? I mean, are there things that you guys have done or do consistently to really try to, maintain that excitement and positive culture and motivation across the producer base?
Yeah, I mean, it's a real challenge, especially with, remote employees and hybrid stuff. I mean, it's the way that it's going to be, at least for the foreseeable future. Engagement stuff we do is, we do some holiday stuff around, Halloween. We'll do like a digital Halloween thing where you have to find, who stole this. It's silly, but
Cool.
people are super engaged, and you have to find who. It's kind of like Clue, but it's all on a
Nice.
digital platform. You see people's faces, and we're trying to figure out basically a Clue issue. And so that's been fun. We do Secret Santas for Christmas, and that's probably the most anticipated event we do. And so, we allocate, $50 per employee, and they go and buy a present, and we have a randomizer that gives, the Secret Santa out, and they're able to buy gifts for their colleagues. And then we just kind of do a huge digital Secret Santa, and that's been incredibly successful, and people really enjoy that. But, we also do, events at our local, brick and mortars, and people who can make it, great, and people who don't, we send gift cards for a pizza party to them personally, stuff like that. You just do as much as you can, but you know, it's
Yeah.
it's it's very difficult. It's one of the biggest challenges for any industry.
It is. It is. I mean, and it's tough too, because especially, you have, 20 employees, 30, however many employees. I mean, everybody values different things too, right? And so you're doing your best to kind of, show your staff that you genuinely care for them, and you want to do things so they, you show them that you care and you value the work they're putting in. But, you know, some people are really excited about some things, and other people may not be so excited about that same thing. And so
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
become challenging. I'll tell you something that's really cool. We just learned about. I'm doing an advertisement here, not intentionally. I think it's called Bunny James. It's these customized boxes of all kinds of different snacks and foods. And it's really cool. I mean, I had one conversation about it, so I can't articulate this perfectly, but I think we are going to use this actually for clients, for partners.
Mhm.
Um, but you can customize these boxes of treats or snacks, and they've got themes too, like stress management and all these different types of themes related to, whatever you want to pick. But also, like, you have people with unique needs, like maybe there's diabetics, in the business or with your client line. It could be anything. They can also do it in a way to where you can pay for, the volume of boxes that you want to go out, say like to our company, right? If we're going to do one for all 20 employees,
Mhm.
we can pay for that. The employees can get a link, and then they can go in and customize, and they can select.
And they can build their own.
They
Yeah.
can build their own to their unique needs. So it's really cool, because then it's more personalized to that person. So
No, that's really cool. Yeah.
Really cool, man. Yeah, it is. So I love that. And it was trying to find something kind of creative that, so everybody can kind of make it their own. Cause like you said, it's such a challenge, man. It absolutely is. Um, I mean, I think that, I'm excited about kind of everything you shared today. I think was super useful, man. Again, you guys have a unique perspective being that you are, more national, you are more digital. So I think, what you guys or what you shared with us really, hopefully will be super impactful for a lot of the listeners out there, a lot of our agencies that are, maybe smaller too, or just a little lost on, what to even be thinking about in terms of technology and digitization for their agency, or you know some people just kind of get that, they're frozen, right? There's a hard market, things are challenging, they don't know what to do, and so they just kind of like trying to cling to their clients as best they can and keep them. But I think, you've mentioned some things about, really being proactive in the way that you outreach and nurture those clients. I think that is really important. But any final kind of words or wisdom for somebody out there who might really just be looking for answers or struggling in this market? Maybe a top one or two things that, you recommend, in terms of mindset or what they should be thinking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, with hard markets, rate is getting pumped into the book. So you're getting a natural revenue lift off of that stuff. I would use this time to make sure, your processes are in place. You're meeting new folks for referrals. You're getting your tech stack in shape, because, the hard market will dissipate. Will it be next year? Maybe not, but maybe 2 years from now. And then you'll be prepared and ready to go for, new business and being prepared to grow your business once this kind of shuffles through. But proactive is your best friend right now. You can't just sit and clamor to your clients, because you will fade away if you continue to do that. That would be my one takeaway from it.
Yeah. Love it. Well, Scott, give us just a quick, reminder about how folks can get connected with you guys if you're on social, or if someone wants to kind of get connected with you and your agency, what would be the best way to do that?
Yeah, so I mean, just visit www.theinsuranceloft.com. We've got plenty of resources there for clients, and you can review us. We have over 800 Google reviews, and we're 5-star with Google. Take some time to look through that and certainly see what we're doing. I mean, we do care about our clients. We have a very high service model that we expect our staff to abide by. And we just really want to be educative to our clients, and that's kind of who we are in a nutshell.
Absolutely. No, I mean, and I can attest to it. I mean, I know you guys have referred us some clients. We've referred some over to you guys. I think we both, are blessed with the 5-star Google reviews, and testimony to our team's doing a wonderful job. But I don't think either one of us have really ever lost any of those clients. So you guys do an amazing job. Appreciate the partnership. Thanks for the time today. Again, Marcus Malone, president here at HRO and the Broker Collective. You can always find out more about us at brokercollective.xyz. Make sure to keep up with us on YouTube and Facebook. And we will look forward to catching all of you on the next episode.